In this video, I'm going to show you the success strategy needed to master any skill without having to spend years and years practicing. It's called Ready, Fire, Aim. So I have been reading this book called Ready, Fire, Aim by Mark Ford. His pen name is Michael Masterson. Now basically this guy is a serial entrepreneur who started like several different ventures and took these businesses to hundreds of millions of dollars. In this book, he mentioned that the number one philosophy that he has used to achieve high levels of success is what he calls ready, fire, aim. Now, when I read this, it resonated with me because I've been living my whole life by this philosophy, and it goes completely against the common teachings in society. So what is ready, fire, aim? To understand it, let's look at its sister, the complete opposite. Ready, aim, fire. Throughout our schooling life, throughout maybe college, university, our workplace, we are taught that we need permission to get to the next level of whatever we're trying to do, right? You gotta study, you gotta pass the quiz, you gotta graduate, you gotta study some more, you gotta accumulate this academic experience, maybe graduate, and then only then are you able to do the practical application of whatever you're trying to do. Whether you're trying to be a lawyer, a doctor, or engineer, you need to follow the pre-set out steps before you actually go out and do the damn thing. The problem with this is, although it's necessary for those types of careers that do need qualifications or whatnot for you to practice, for the vast majority of things that people want to do, there are no set steps. You need to practice ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, aim means getting ready, doing your initial research, seeing what the landscape looks like, spending a little bit of time on Google, maybe reading 1 or 2 books at most. Firing is practicing it, doing the actual application, doing the thing. If you want to play a musical instrument, it means actually sitting down and practicing the damn thing. If you want to create a business, it means going out there, looking for customers, creating products, and figuring out your marketing. These are the actual application, the real things that are going to teach you about what it takes to get good at the craft. Aiming is what you do afterwards. After you get some skin in the game, after you put yourself out there into the real world and start doing the thing, you're going to find out that you are lacking in certain areas. Perhaps you need to refine your skill set on phone calls. You know, you're trying to do sales calls. You need to become more articulate, more charismatic. So you start working on that. Or maybe you learn a musical instrument and you realize that your fingers are all over the place. So maybe you hire a musical instructor. Aiming is refining, getting better. The beautiful thing about the world we're living in now is that you don't need anyone's permission. You have the internet, you've got resources, books, courses, podcasts. You've got everything at your disposal. So the world hasn't caught up yet, and a lot of people are still thinking that they need qualifications, that they need to go through a series of steps before they accomplish their goals. But you can flip that script and jump into the arena, start getting some real life experience, which is gonna put you in a better position than the person that's been sitting around theorizing all day. 5 years ago, when I was trying to start my own online business, I had no idea about what to do. I had no idea which direction to go into. I had no idea about what platforms to use, YouTube, Facebook, or Pinterest. I had no idea. So I went on Google and I typed in, what's the best way to start a brand? And I read this article and it said that you needed a blog and blogging is the best way to start. So that day I created a blogger, right? So I did a little bit of ready, the Google search, the fire, I created a blogger, and I wrote my first article, which was called, I think 5 morning rituals or some nonsense like that. Later on, about a week later, I realized that Blogger was not the best platform for a blog. It turns out that something called WordPress was the best platform for a blog. So I learned how to create my own website from scratch by watching a YouTube video for 2 hours, and then figured out how to write things and post it. So I was just in the trenches going, right? A week later, it turns out that maybe YouTube was a better approach. So I created a YouTube channel, the one you're watching today. Started filming, you know, my camera wasn't that good. I had a crap little whiteboard that cost me $7, but I just got going. look at it now, 5 years later, 5.5 million views, 67,000 subscribers because of this philosophy. You start doing the damn thing and you refine along the way. You don't sit around theorizing, reading textbooks, and letting success leave you by, right? That's just a waste of time. That's how most people operate because they've been taught to operate that way. They've been taught that they need permission. You go out there and get in the trenches, because what most people don't understand is there is no such thing as failure. Once again, this stems back from schooling and perhaps your parents. Whenever you didn't get a good grade or you didn't pass something, people would say you failed, that you're a loser. But in the real world, these failures, these setbacks are actually reference points. They give you points of reference so that you can iterate and get better on the next cycle. So you need to completely flip the script, not be afraid to fall on your face, and be proud that you're actually in the arena. Because that's how you're gonna get success. The real world is too complicated, too complex to be defined or to be explained in a book. And when you read a bunch of books, or when you look at a bunch of videos on YouTube and you're paralyzing yourself with information, you're not doing the thing and you're not getting the reference points. You know, you have two people that are trying to learn how to drive a car. One person's reading all the books about driving cars. You know, they're watching videos on YouTube. They're talking to people in phone calls, and they're doing interviews. They're in the library, just researching, knowing everything about driving a car. They're doing everything besides actually getting in the car. This other person over here has no idea what they're doing, right? They only know about cars from maybe watching a couple movies, seeing how other people do it. Let's give each person 6 months. After the 6 months, who do you think is going to be a better driver? Who's going to pass their tests? Obviously the person that's actually been getting some real world experience, not the person just sitting around reading books. Experience is king. And I'll give you another example of ready, fire, aim in practice. So a couple years ago, I decided to branch out my online business. I didn't want to just do self-improvement. I want to do some consulting for marketing because I got quite proficient at it. Now, I had started growing Instagram accounts and getting better at that. And at the time I had an Instagram account with about 30,000 followers or something like that. But I did a little bit more research, got myself ready, fired, started getting some clients and helping them grow their accounts. So I didn't wait for someone to give me permission. I didn't wait for someone to tell me that I was the authority. I created my own agency and became the authority just from doing it. I didn't wait to get some qualification or get some degree. I just did it because I saw how well it worked with the Realized Man brand. I just did it, and within a couple of months, I was consulting with 8-figure entrepreneurs, some big influencers and this type of thing. Like my agency, the Insta Hustle, was actually one of the biggest agencies on Instagram marketing. Just from that ready, fire, aim, just getting out there and doing it, right? So take a look at your life and think about it. What do you want to do? Let's say you want to be a writer. No, don't go and take a writing degree. Don't go to university to get an arts degree. Don't do that crap. Just start writing. Start writing. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of failure, and refine as you do it. Focus primarily on the act of writing. Then look at how you can improve. Maybe you can improve your grammar or your spelling, or you can read some other successful writers and see how they write and how they approach the craft. Maybe you want to be a rapper. For the love of God, don't go get a record deal from a record label that's going to rip you off and own your masters and throw you a bone. Be independent. Go out there, create your music, put it on SoundCloud, right? Put it on Spotify. Start marketing on Instagram. Use hashtags. We live in a world now where we have all the tools to do what we want. It's just that no one's telling you that you can do it. Go out there. Ready, fire, aim. Do this, and I promise you'll be one step closer to living and dying well. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell notifications so we can see more of each other. Until next time.